Capricorns, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for July 11th through the 17th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Capricorn, let's go ahead and start this by looking at your ruler, Saturn, who is not forming any major aspects this week, but is still retrograde there in your 11th house. So things are, I think, still reflective in terms of your aspirations, where things are going in the future. And still, though, an excellent time to be laying those foundations with your hopes, your wishes, your aspirations. Some of you, too, may be taking seriously networking, connecting with friends, and that kind of stuff. Now, regarding relationships, this is always seen by the moon, who is going to be in the first quarter phase this week. So it is, of course, during this phase, always good to challenge ourselves. And I think, as it is every time of, these 2 times a month, really, with the squaring of the sun and the moon, a good time to challenge yourself with the relationships, take action, and anything else that might require that initiative there. Always do follow the dailies where you can look at which aspects the moon is forming if you want a more specific look at those relationships. Now, in terms of, and actually one thing I want to mention too about relationships actually is that Venus is still in the 7th house. So actually there is a bit of this enjoyment that can be had with your one-to-one connections. And Mercury is actually shifting in here this week also. So you could find maybe there's a bit more of this social energy or exchanging ideas, sharing ideas, learning from one another, that kind of a thing. All right, and then this is actually going to be the location, your 7th house of relationships, the location of the next new moon next month, which will be new beginnings in that area. All right, now in terms of the work sector, this is seen by both Mercury and Venus, who rule your 6th and your 7th house. The sun's still in your 6th, or excuse me, 6th and 10th. Your sun's still in the 6th, so you guys still have this great focus, I think, to work on your routine or your work, your regimens, all that kind of stuff. Great source of energy. In fact, this is where the last lunar cycle was. So a good week to challenge yourself to get that routine, get that work, whatever it is to take action towards, to continue to further any new beginnings that came to you this past week. All right, and then in terms of these aspects with Mercury and Venus, starting first with Mercury. Mercury is going to be squaring up to Uranus on Monday, so for whatever reason, if there is a bit of irritability, wanting to break through, break free when it comes to the work stuff, the daily work, take it nice and slow, patience. It's not a major thing, but it's something that I think can be integrated. Uranus is trying to help you have more freedom with your communication or something to do with your mind and your intellect. And, again, exchanging. So whatever that is, listening to that, but taking it nice and slow. And then as a result, the second half of the day, you could be feeling perhaps quite rejuvenated in that routine sector. Then over the weekend, Mercury and Venus do conjoin. So in many ways, you guys do have a new beginning with your career here over the weekend. Maybe new insights. Some of you maybe a new relationship or something like that, partnership. It's all relating to these this basically your work and your career planets in a conjunction, which is like this new beginning here. And with Mercury involved, it could be of the mind, it could be insights, and then with Venus, it could be relationships and also new values unfolding about your career. And this is, the big picture is that Mars is direct. In fact, Mars there in the 10th house is going to be forming a grand trine this week. So there is some healing, there is some support, there's this confidence, this forward-moving energy when it comes to your career stuff, which I think is an excellent aspect here this week. All right, now when it comes to finances, this is always seen by Saturn, who does rule that 2nd house. Again, not forming any major aspects, but Neptune in the South Node are transiting that 2nd. So it's still about detachment, surrender, having faith, and going with the flow as best as you can regarding that area, I think is always good. Even releasing old habit patterns, old emotional patterns regarding values or the finances in some way there. That's the South Node transiting that 2nd house. And that's allowing you to really expand on what is this more opportunistic area of getting deeper in life, really asking yourself what really matters, learning more about healthy interdependency, healthy codependency, and openness and vulnerability in those relationships can lead to greater intimacy there. All right, so that's the key areas. Now in terms of an overview, we pretty much covered it. This early part, Mercury squaring up to Uranus, balance here I think is key with the routine stuff. And then as we go into the weekend, that's where all the rest of the major aspects are taking place. Again, this grand trine with Mars. You guys could be feeling perhaps healed and rejuvenated, maybe in terms of your personal life, maybe with your home and family life, since Mars rules your 4th. In fact, maybe even too with your health. Some of you might be healing your health. Maybe connecting with friends or networking can be a great week for that also. Now, the sun is going to be squaring up to Uranus, although in that grand trine. So while there is support here, I think, again, for the routine and for those deeper connections, that intimacy, I think taking things nice and slow if you're feeling, again, a bit of that wanting to break through, break free with either of those key areas. All right, so Capricorns, have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.